are back with Larry T. Larry T. Now you have more Gucci underneath your jacket. I want you to show it off.
Well, I thought we needed a little color on this set.
Of course.
Because you know you don't bring on a homosexual TV show and not have some motherfucking color.
Exactly.
Okay.
Very nice. Now, you also have another one hidden down there. You
Can I
want to
show
show
that?
it? Yeah, show it to me.
Okay. Well, you know, my dream client, of course, is Rihanna, Soraya,
Yes.
Willow, and Jaden, of course.
Of course.
And so, you know, I make these show business pieces. Now, this one's a beauty. The guy that does my illustrations, this is actually his grandmother.
Wow.
And then it's reversible. And inside, it's a tiger jacket. And the straps say, "You better work, bitch," in Japanese.
No.
Because, you know, it is my intellectual property.
It is your intellectual property,
I
sweetie.
might as well work the bitch, you know. You know, it's funny. You know, we've had so much success, and I've never really had to work RuPaul so much yet.
Right, really?
Yeah, no, I sent the bitch a jacket, okay? Now, I don't want to get into any RuPaul of this, because I know who really cares about RuPaul in your audience.
Oh, not no one on this show that, no.
Not so much,
They don't
right?
care about drag, they don't care about any of it.
But, you know, not to talk, because RuPaul is one of the people I love the most in the world.
Yeah.
I've had more of a relationship with RuPaul than almost anyone in my life. I'm so lucky about that. But can we talk about the way he dresses as a man? Oh my God, those skinny suits. You know, because he has a skinny neck that's great for guiche, getting all guiched up. But you know, when you have a little collar that's way down here in stripes and polka dots, in so I sent him a jacket, right? Because I said, oh, I got. It was like an emergency.
Right.
Because, you know, if I could, I would jump in her man's closet, and when she would try to reach in for one of those things, I'd say, "Don't do it! Don't do it! No!" Because it's just she's so handsome. And she must be up to something. She's trying to maybe show that there's such a difference between the real.
Sure, perhaps.
I don't understand.
How would you make over RuPaul? What would you have him wear?
Well, first off, something that would come up a little higher to avoid the long neck as a man.
Okay.
Because it's too skinny as a neck as a man.
Right.
And something that's a little wider because as a female, that really works great on the camera.
Yeah.
But as a man, you need a little more something. You can't be that thin because it just doesn't look right for me. But you know what? Who am I to say Ru's not doing something right? Because she is the queen.
She is the queen.
Oh my God! I'm so proud of her, and it's great to see all of her, that I've managed to see all of her phases.
Yeah.
And that she's transforming. She's a lovely human, but like us all, we all had those phases where it was like awkward phase.
Totally.
Bumping down the stairs. You know.
Now, you guys, let's go back to the time in Atlanta. Now, you're not from Atlanta. You were originally from Seattle, right?
Born in Seattle, but I spent a lot of time in Atlanta.
Because when did you move there? Like in your 20s or?
No, when I was 6 years old.
Oh, 6
years old. We moved from Seattle to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And then I grew up there, and it was a really great time to grow up there because I used to go to Athens all the time, and I was like best friends with Michael Stipe from REM.
Right. Now, did you date Michael Stipe for a short while?
Well, I mean, you can't. We don't really say things like that on the thing.
No,
but
you've said it before, though. Yes, exactly.
But I couldn't say that. I'm not going to actually say. I would never say on TV that I dated Michael Stipe because it would just be. It wouldn't be respectful.
Oh, okay.
He's
That's
respectable.
Good. He is very
of
respectable.
Of my friends, he's like totally respectable.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
So you were saying, you grew up in Georgia, it seemed like it was a great time for creativity in a place that you wouldn't necessarily think was a place that unique flowers would blossom.
Well, you know what? Actually, that's often the places where good things happen. You know, I also think cities that have been apocalypsed, like New York when it was broke,
right.
or Tokyo or Berlin. You know, the cities that get devastated. London was so broke in the 70s and 80s
right.
That it had just stopped working. And those cities, when the rents are cheap, that's when the creative people can really have time to develop their talents and do something amazing.
Yeah.
So often, that's why I like the cities. Actually, I think LA right now, because I'm about to have to move here because all the hip hop guys are wearing my clothes.
Totally.
And I'd be an idiot to be in Berlin because Berlin is just not the capital of hip hop.
That's for sure.
Or entertainment.
It is not the capital of hip hop, Larry. It's not the capital. Sorry, Germany, for that bad accent.
No. But you know what? I love being in Germany. But my goal is to work from Germany and to be in Germany and LA because LA, it has such a big area that you can live at different price ranges within LA, and it's still got so much room to grow that I think it's the new New York.
Thank goodness. That's why we're here. Do you hear that, Lady Red? It's the new New York.
Ooh, working girl.
When you're the Statue of Liberty. Oh, there she is. A big red Statue of Liberty. All right, so back to Atlanta. So what was that time, like when did you start to get into the scene that became, it was Ru, Bunny was down there, Lahoma, like what was the beginning of the genesis of that scene about?
Well, the genesis of all of that is we were really bored. And Atlanta always had tremendous drag. It was like there's something about Southern drag that you just can't come for. And so we would, out of sheer boredom, we would go to these amazing drag shows. And those girls studied the classics like Chopin and Beethoven, but they were the drag classics of Atlanta at a golden era of like just what drag, where you just said, oh no, she didn't just do that kind of drag.
Right.
So they kind of studied it, and you could see them. They're like little scientists, like looking at it, and then they took that punk energy and that sort of modern feeling to it, and took out the Joan Crawford, and put in the new stuff, and kind of gave it a whole new context where it wasn't the same old drag. So it's kind of like the birth. I think it was the birthing of the new kind of drag, where that is now RuPaul's Drag Race, where the girls not only are talented and they're funny, they can perform, they can carry on, and the market is hungry for drag superstars.
That's for sure.
I think they're the new rock stars.
I think they are.
Because a rapper, God bless them, they might get 2 hits, and then they're ushered out the back. But these queens are famous in every country because of that show. So I think reality TV stars are the new rock stars.
That's for sure.
Which means you're a rock star.
Hooray! It's all happening, Lady Red. Now, what were you doing in Atlanta? What was your early dream? Like, what was your? I know you guys were putting on little backyard shows and gagging the children and doing you were playing in a band. You were in the Fans.
I was in the Fans, which had produced the B-52's first single, Rock Lobster 52 Girls.
Wow.
But they were very serious, very downer thing. They had great lyrics and they were brilliant, but they were a little goth ahead of their time. They were a little like so serious. They weren't goth, but they were very intellectual. And then I saw the B-52s, and suddenly my whole world just went boom, and disco was irrelevant. Because I'd been a disco queen. Interesting. And then as soon as I heard that, I just knew, I said, oh my God. So I had a band that was sort of like the disco punk version of the B-52s called the Now Explosion. And we had guest appearances by RuPaul and Lady Bunny. And I think the first time I ever saw Ru in drag was when we did a wedding show and we needed bridesmaids. And so she got out this ugly white dress and put on this big white hat and big white shoes. And of course, when you see the bridal party, everybody's like here, and Ru is just like a giraffe dangling over the top of them. And everybody at the same time just went, oh. And the first time I saw Lady Bunny was at my birthday party. She arrived and said, she announced herself as Bunny. And I remember everybody kind of just went, oh. Like, oh, that's serious. Because he had shown we didn't know he was going to do drag. Interesting. But when he showed up, it was so clear that it was a thing that everybody kind of went,
Wow. The star power was undeniable, huh?
Yeah, no, and he had that sense of humor that as a boy, it was awkward and funny. But as Lady Bunny, it was a total match. And he was like, oh, that explains a lot.
Interesting. Wow, the insight, Larry, of the old Lady Bunny. I love it.
And she was really gaunt at first, and we used to make movies. We'd do slasher movies with RuPaul, Lady Bunny, and she was great right from the start. She was made for reality, not reality, but for made for TV movies.
Right.
Because they were always great, one takes, and we never had to. We often didn't edit them because we would always get a really watchable take because she just worshipped that kind of, theater.
Interesting.
She was always good.
So you guys were having fun down there, making sort of a scene and making movies and things. And then when did you decide that it was time to go to New York? Had other people gone first, or what was the genesis of that?
No, you know what? There was a time where we had done everything we could have done in Atlanta. I'd run the clubs. I'd been the biggest DJ in Atlanta, and there was a point where actually I thought it was kind of over because I said, God, I'm 28 years old. What's left? Really?
Right.
You know what I mean? I thought, well, I'll just go to New York because at least it'll be interesting. Right? I really wasn't thinking that we would go there and suddenly be running the clubs within 6 months.
Yeah.
But it was a time we came right after AIDS had annihilated the whole community.
Yeah.
So there was like a vacancy there, and we came. Everybody was wearing black. Everybody was mourning. We didn't realize it because we were in Atlanta,
Right.
carrying on. So when we got up there, we were oblivious to what had just happened, and we just roared out, looking like woohoo!
Right.
And they were so happy to see us.
Wow.
That, immediately, it was like within 5 years, I was a total drug addict.
Oh, wow.
But in the meantime, I run all the clubs. I got to play all the biggest clubs as a DJ. I was the biggest DJ in New York before DJs became rock stars.
Yeah, you were doing Roxy, Palladium. Let's get into that. That time in New York was really still referenced today. It's like it was the beginning of the Club Kid era. And now you were part of the Disco 2000 party during that time?
Yeah, I was actually the one that named the party Disco 2000.
You did?
I started the party with Michael Alec.
Wow.
But at the time, he wasn't a dangerous killer. And he didn't do drugs when we started it. He was.
Really?
Yeah, and it was only when he got kind of trapped into that life there. That's why, I would never be caught dead doing a quick photo with Michael Alec, just because it's the kiss of death for any career.
Yes, it is.
But I can't judge either because, I'm a drug addict in recovery, 20 years. Actually, I celebrate 20 years being sober and clean.
That's amazing. I mean, there's a round of applause for that, sweetie.
And every day, I just thank the Lord that happened because it, getting sober was like the start of a new life. Suddenly I realized if I stayed sober and I worked the spiritual principles that are in the 12 steps, oh my God, anything I wanted to do was available.
Yeah.
And I was just, so grateful that I had Lahoma she kind of herded me. I knew, I'm not saying she was in recovery.
Okay.
But
Yes.
I had some role models, and they kind of said, "Hey, it's really good out here." And then my life became so good, and so that's why even though I go to anonymous programs, that's why I tell people about it because it's so. I thought it'd be so dull, and my life has been hilarious.
Yes, I sure
so
has.
much fun. Just one thing after another, thing after another, and better relationships and a lot of sex.
Yes.
And you actually feel it when you don't have pain relief.
That's true.
Woo, and you don't have some alcohol.
You do love to snap the legendary trade, Larry T. You always have a cute young boyfriend around you.
We try. I'm trying to shoot from mid-30s to late 30s, just so it doesn't look so embarrassing on the red.
How mature of
on
you,
the red carpet.
Larry.
On the red carpet.
The red carpet.
Hey Qween.
Well, children, to see part 3 of this interview, click here. To see more Hey Qween fabulousness, click here. And don't forget to subscribe, bitch! Hey! Hey! Hey!